VR Workforce Studio, podcasting the sparks that ignite vocational rehabilitation through the inspiring stories of people with disabilities who have gone to work,
working in a field that I understand,
as well as the professionals who have helped them.
A job and a career. You got to look at how life-changing this is.
And the businesses who have filled their talent pipelines with workers that happen to have disabilities.
To help expand registered apprenticeship.
These are their stories.
Because there's such a great story to tell about people with disabilities.
Now, here are the hosts of the VR Workforce Studio, Rick Sizemore and Betsy Civilette.
Welcome to episode 132 of the VR Workforce Studio, VR and the Band Director.
Today's episode is one of those moments where we just stop and say, this is what VR is all about. We're thrilled to introduce you to an incredible young man whose journey through DARS services led him right back home to inspire the next generation.
That's right, Betsy. Malik Thornton's story is one of perseverance, purpose, and a passion for music that carried him from being a high school student to a college graduate and now the band director at his own alma mater. He's a 2025 DARS champion nominee. And once you hear his story, you'll understand why.
Well, let's welcome Malik Thornton to the podcast. Welcome, Malik. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure being here. I'm happy to be selected to do this interview. Hi, everyone.
Awesome. Well, Malik, tell us about your job, where you are today, and what you're doing now.
So currently I work at Tunstall High School and Tunstall Middle School. I'm the band director at both of these schools. I teach grades 6 through 12. Out of all of this, I direct all the ensembles and oversee all the ensembles at both schools. So whether it's the marching band, concert bands, percussion ensembles, or indoor flag line, I either oversee them all or I direct them all. So mainly I direct all the marching bands, the concert bands, and like pep bands and stuff like that. Anything with a band title in the name. Stuff like the percussion ensemble and the indoor flag line, I just oversee as the head director, but I have individual directors that oversee those two organizations.
That is so cool. Every time you go to a sporting event or you go to a concert at one of these high schools and you see this incredible music that's so well orchestrated and led, and it's so awesome, just know that I have a friend who is a high school band director, and I asked him once, I said, what is your job really like? He said, well, the first few days, just imagine standing in front of 30 car horns all blowing at the same time. So my hat's off to you for taking young people and helping them pull it all together and make beautiful music.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot involved.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite a few ensembles you named. That is fabulous. But let's start at the beginning. Take us back to your time at Tunstall High School when you were a student, and what were your dreams then, and how did you get connected with DARS, and what was your initial journey like?
So back when I was in high school, it wasn't that long ago, but I was I stayed in the band the whole time when I was there. I was in band from 6th grade all the way up through high school. But my high school life was a little bit hard, I would say. So I had an IEP for my education part. I wasn't reading or writing at the rate of my peers like I should have been. My study habits were a little bit poor. But I never let that label me, in a sense. I never let that discourage me for what I could do. Also in high school, I was homeless. I battled with being homeless, couch hopping from like my friends' houses, cousins' houses, anywhere that I could find just basically a place to stay and sleep. But again, I never allowed that to like discourage me in any sense. I knew then that my goals always were to go to college, become a teacher. It was just always a question of like, which subject would I teach? And I chose music because that's something that I've been doing since day one. But also like I just had a love and a passion for music. I was singing in the choir at church. I was playing my instrument in the band. Music was my release. So I knew then that goal is to teach and educate others to pursue this. And how I met DARS was my special education teacher, Miss Buchanan, at the time put me in contact with Miss Fisher, and then the rest is history.
Wow.
Well, that's great. Well, we'll talk to Cindy in a sec, but we understand that you continued working with DARS through college and beyond. But what were some of the biggest challenges you faced during those years, and how did you push through that?
Yeah, I would say the biggest challenges that I faced And school again was just, basically being homeless, not knowing where, my life was going to direct me, or, whereas my peers, in a sense, they had a home. Their assignments was just to come home every night, do their homework, and call it a day. My assignments was to uh find water for my house, or
Wow.
make sure everybody got everything that they needed to get done. And then on top of that, maintain an AB honor roll, and also maintain being drum major in the band when I was in high school. And then when I went on to further to college, it got easier because at that point I had my own dorm. Housing wasn't really a scare for me at that point. But when I did get to college, I did like lived my life more for me because I didn't have so much worries as I did when I was like a student in high school.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well, we understand you were deeply involved on campus at Longwood University, choirs, ensembles, fraternity life. You were fully involved in college. How did DARS help you prepare for that and help you along the way to becoming the educator you are today?
Yeah, so I would say like with DARS, I never had to worry about any of my like finances for at least paying for college
Hmm.
or supplies that I needed. When I told Miss Fisher like this is what I want to do, she was like, okay, I'm willing to help you in any shape, way, or form. And she was the one that said, okay, this is what we can cover. After I got my fast back and stuff, this is how much DARS can chip in. And then after that, this is like the items. My first year moving in, I will say like DARS helped me with like not furnishing, but getting those first year need items for my dorm room, like such as paper towels, toilet paper, washcloth, baths, all that stuff. Help me with supplies for like my music needs. So like with books and stuff like that,
Hmm.
supply schools, first year school supplies, pencils, whatever I needed. Um, DARS was always there. So again, that just opened up more of a path for me to enjoy college because I just didn't have those stressors on top of like learning.
Hmm. Well, now you're back at Tunstall, band director for both middle and high school. So, what's it like walking in the same halls you once walked as a student and now as a leader?
I would say it's very much like it's an adjustment because, like I said earlier, high school wasn't that long ago for me. But it's now I get to see the behind the scenes of high school, be there for my students as my educators were there for me in some senses. I love being a role model. Like at my time at Longwood, like you said, I was heavily involved, and my advocacy was always to be a change maker. I was associated with the change cohort on campus, and so advocating for students of minorities or students with disabilities, doing that and then more. So I just took that and brought it to Tunstall, and try to continue what I do now, which is just advocacy.
Hmm. What does it mean to you to be nominated as a DARS champion? And what would you say to other students out there who are just beginning their journey?
So I would say for me to be nominated was such a great honor. First of all, I'm happy. I'm always one to like downplay a lot of situations in my life. That's what my friends also say because I just don't think I just not the person I'm thinking like, oh well, I deserve these things in a sense, or like people just don't notice what I do. And to be honored, to be nominated for this award, it's like, well, people see what I do and people know what I do, and it's like it's a great accomplishment in somebody's eyes, even if it's not in mine. So first, I just feel honored for it. But what describes a champion to me is just that person that perseveres. Never taking no for an answer, never letting other people doubts tell you what you're going to be, never being defined by another person. I have always stayed true to my path, and that's what a champion, in my opinion, is a person that stays true to their past, who always excels, who goes above and beyond, not just for themselves, but for others. And then what I would tell people, what I've always told people is, and students, is always advocate for yourself first. Look at the bigger picture, get in contact with people because somebody's out there that can help you. If I didn't talk to Miss Buchanan, my special education teacher, I don't think I will be here today because she was the woman that put me in contact with Miss Fisher, and then again, the rest is history. Always persevere, never give up. Being a champion is not always just winning winning battles, winning fights, but it's also how can you make a situation better for yourself? So that's just what I have to say.
I think about you going home looking for a home to go to, a place to stay, and finding water. And you describe being a champion in such a powerful way with a context that many people have not had the opportunity to experience. So our hats are off to you, Malik. I have cold chills just listening to your story. Cindy Fisher, Malik's counselor, also joins us for the conversation today. Cindy, you worked with Malik for several years. What stood out to you about his journey that made you nominate him for the DARS Champion Award? Cindy?
What made Malik's journey stand out to me was his determination and his consistency throughout the entire Voc rehab process. From the first time I met him in high school until now, he always shows up with a positive attitude, and he is always willing to put in whatever work is needed. So from his school community to college to DARS, his resilience and mindset have really made a lasting impression on me. And so that's absolutely why I think he should be recognized with a champion award.
Yes, well deserved. And no question there. I mean, what comes to mind is just against all odds.
Right.
That you succeeded, Malik. So from your perspective as a counselor, what role did vocational rehabilitation play in helping Malik reach his goals?
I would say, overall, DARS did what it was supposed to do. We helped ease the transition process from high school to college to the world of work so that Malik could do those things that he mentioned, like focus on school. And he was like a super student. He made X grades. He was involved more than probably 3 other students combined in college activities and that sort of thing.
Well, Malik, your story is powerful. We're honored to celebrate your achievements. Thank you for being with us today and for the incredible impact you're making in the lives of your students.
And, it sums it up greatly what vocational rehabilitation is all about. It's empowering people to achieve their goals and give back to their communities. So congratulations, Malik. You truly are a DARS champion.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I thank you for having me.
Well, what an amazing conversation, Betsy, with Cindy and Malik this morning.
Yeah, wow. Malik's story is such a powerful reminder that vocational rehabilitation can transform lives. He was a teen with learning disabilities, homeless, and he became a respected community leader and band director at Tunstall Middle and High School. I mean, that's the power of VR in action.
Absolutely. If you're a person with a disability and you're ready to get into the workforce, now is the time to begin writing your success story. Visit DARS at dars.virginia.gov to learn more about how you can kickstart your career.
And don't forget, check us out. The extended audio version of this episode is at vrworkforcestudio.com.
Until next time, I'm Rick Sizemore.
And I'm Betsy Civilette.
Inviting you to join us as we podcast the sparks that ignite vocational rehabilitation.